housing is my background. That's my career. I was involved in affordable housing and in housing innovation for decades before joining the City Hall here. And we have really focused over the last decade on trying to innovate and trying to incentivize the creation of housing types that the market isn't producing. We know the market will come in and they will produce condominiums because they're easy to produce and because there's a pent-up demand for them. There are buyers waiting for that product, and we certainly have to get a lot of housing for ownership, for purchase, available. And every community in the Lower Mainland has to do the same. Greater Vancouver needs to build enough housing to accommodate 1 million people coming to this region in the next 25 years. And obviously that is without expanding the land base very much. We're bounded in this region by the Pacific Ocean on the west and the mountains on the north and the agricultural land on the east. And on the south, there's a really big army that won't let us expand southward. So we have that international boundary all the way to the mountains. And how do we make the best use of the available land and protect the land we need to protect in order to maintain the livability of the region and the sustainability of the region? So it has always been a challenge. So we have taken, particularly around SkyTrain stations. Rapid transit was a game changer for us, but it took a long time to get it. And it's one of the things I'm most proud of is the ability to push forward and get the province and the federal government and regional government all to finally commit after decades to building the SkyTrain and having it open. It's been open for 5 years. And it has allowed us to build density around those stations, both office density and commercial density, but primarily residential density, places for people to live. And we also know that if we get rental housing and non-market housing closer to the stations, we can save those families a lot of money and make life more affordable for them because they can avoid having a motor vehicle or a second motor vehicle or a second car. And a car is about $10,000 a year. It's, a lot of people spend as much on their vehicle as they spend on housing. So how do we get affordable housing and affordable living together? So by approaching the development industry, we essentially said, we will let you build more, but we need these things. And we allow what's called bonus density. We will allow slightly higher density, but we need affordable housing, we need 3-bedroom rental housing, we need all kinds of different types of housing in order to engage people that can't afford the condominiums that they're producing for, that they love to produce. So we've said, if you produce affordable housing, non-market housing, below market housing, and even deep subsidized housing, we will allow other things for you. We will encourage you to build those by giving you incentives. And that's without provincial and federal assistance. Normally, affordable or subsidized housing is subsidized by the provincial government because that's their jurisdiction. But we have been able to do it by subsidizing, getting the developers effectively to put in the subsidies. And we get them to do that by supporting the rest of their project in a way that builds a great community. So we're really proud that right now we have more housing in stream, more housing under development in Coquitlam than we've ever had in our history. And we're trying to make it as good as we possibly can and expand the parkland around it so that even though folks are living in more dense locations and more dense housing forms, they still have parkland, they still have the backyard to be able to enjoy life in Coquitlam.